Good morning, children. One day we had discussed this lesson in a video. Today I am sending you this video about this lesson, the making of a scientist, taken from your supplementary reader. First of all, see the introduction. Richard H. Everett has contributed significantly to biochemistry and molecular biology. When Everett was a little child, he used to collect butterflies, rocks, fossils, and coins. He was an eager stargazer also, but he was mainly interested in butterflies. During his school as well as college days, he did many experiments for which he was awarded many prizes. Most of his experiments were on butterflies. These experiments were a milestone in the world of science. Detailed summary. Richard H. Everett is one of the leading scientists. He has contributed significantly to biochemistry and molecular biology. He had been interested in science since his boyhood years. At the age of 22, he excited the scientific world with a new theory. It was concerned with the working of cells. Everett and his college roommate explained the theory in an article. It was published in the journal entitled Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It was first of his many achievements in the field of science. It started with his studies on butterflies. Everett was the only child of his parents. They lived in the north of Reading, Pennsylvania. There was nothing for Everett to do there. He had no companions. He was not a good player, but his hobby was collecting things. Everett was fascinated by butterflies. He started collecting butterflies in kindergarten. He also collected rocks, fossils, and coins. He also became a stargazer and an eager astronomer. Everett's mother recognized his curiosity and encouraged him. She took him on trips. She also bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, and other equipment so that he could follow his hobbies. Everett's mother was his friend until he started his school. She would bring home friends to him. He was her whole life after her husband's death. Everett's mother would find work for Rishi if he had nothing to do. She found learning tasks for him. He had a great hunger for learning. He earned top grades in his school. By the time he was in second grade, he had collected 25 species of butterflies. These were found around in hometown. One day, his mother gave him a children's book. It opened the world of science to Everett. That book was the Travels of Monarch X. It described how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America. This book fascinated him. At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of Toronto University, Canada. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart. Ebright started tagging monarch butterflies. The butterfly collecting season around reading lasts only 6 weeks in late summer. He realized that chasing the butterflies one by one would not enable him to catch many. So he decided to raise a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch and take her eggs. He would raise them in his basement from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. Then he would tag the butterfly's wings and let them go. However, soon Ebright began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. The reason was that there was no feedback. He was a little disappointed as only two butterflies had been recaptured and they had been found not more than 75 miles from where he lived. By the time Ebright reached the seventh grade, he got busy with other scientific experiments. He entered a county science fair. His entries were slides of frog tissues, but he did not win any prize. He realized that the winners had tried to do real experiments. So he decided to do further research in his favorite field, that is, insects, on which he had already been doing work. Ebright wrote to Dr. Couhart for ideas. In reply, the famous scientist gave him many suggestions for experiments. These experiments kept Ebright busy all through high school. He also won many prizes in the county and international science fairs for his eighth grade project. Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease that killed all monarch caterpillars. He thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. He tried raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles, but he did not get any real results. But he showed his experiment in the science fair and won. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies imitate monarchs. He said that viceroys look like monarchs because birds do not find monarchs tasty. By copying monarchs, the viceroys escape being eaten by birds. His project was to see if birds would eat monarchs. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. In his second year in high school, Everight's research led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone hormone. Indirectly, it led to his new theory on the life of cells. He tried to answer a very simple question: what is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? To find the answer, Ebright and another student built a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone. It was necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work in Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. Ebright's interest in butterflies never abated. As a high school junior, he continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. His project won first place at the International Science Fair in his senior year. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture. He showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. That project won first place for zoology at the international fair. He also worked at the Army Laboratory and at the US Department of Agriculture's laboratory. The following summer, Abrites went back to the Department of Agriculture's lab and worked on the hormone theory. Finally, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structures. A year and a half later, one day, Abrites was seeing the X-ray photos of the chemical structure of cells. He got the idea for his new theory about cell life. Those photos provided him with the answer to one of biology's puzzles: how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It is the blueprint for life. Everett and his college roommate James R. Wong drew pictures and constructed plastic models of molecules, molecules to show how it could happen. No one was surprised when Richard Everett graduated from Harvard with highest honors. He also became a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. There he began experimenting to test his theory. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the life processes. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. Ebright had many other interests also. He also became a champion debater and public speaker, a good canoeist, and an all around outdoor person. He was also an expert photographer of nature and scientific exhibits. A bright social studies teacher, Richard Wenner, Werer, Richard Werer had high praise for him. Ebright said about him, his teacher, that he opened his mind to new ideas. Richard Werer also spoke highly of Ebright about his interest he won because he wanted to do the best job. He said that Ebright was competitive but not in a bad sense. In the end, the writer says Everett possesses those traits which are necessary for the making of a scientist. These are: start with a first rate mind, add curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. Everett had these qualities. Main characters of the lesson. First, Richard H. Everett, a multifaceted genius, a great scientist, debater, canoeist, etc. Collected butterflies since childhood. Worked on monarch butterflies, the shell and its DNA. Inspired by his mother, Dr. Urquhart, and his teacher, R.A. Wheeler. Second character is Richard H. Everett's mother. Encouraged and inspired Everett's interest in learning, bought him instruments, cameras, his only champions, companions, got him the book The Travels of Monarch X that changed Richard Everett's life. Third character is Dr. Urquhart, famous for work on monarch butterflies, taught at University of Toronto, Canada, helped Everett with new ideas and suggestions. Fourth character, Richard A. Wheeler, social studies teacher of Everett, respected and admired by Everett, turned Everett's energy towards the debating and model United Nations clubs. Short answer questions. First, which project of Everett won first prize in the county science fair? Everett did not win anything at his first science fair, thereby realizing that actual experiments alone worked. Later, he started winning prizes. Everett, with his scientist friend, first built a device that showed that the tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won the first prize in the county science fair and third prize in zoology in the international science fair. Question number 2. What were the factors which contributed to making Everett a scientist? Or what are the essential qualities for becoming a scientist according to Everett's teacher? Sharp brain first, observant, analytic mind, curiosity, the keen interest in the subject, and a strong will for the right cause are some of the essential for the making of a scientist. You should remember these points very well. He should not run after prizes, have a competitive spirit, but not in a bad sense. Question 3. What idea did Everett get when he was looking at the X-ray photos of cells? Answer. One day Everett was seeing the X-ray photos of the chemical structure of cells. He got the idea for his new theory about cell life. Those photos provided him with the answer to one of biology's puzzles: how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. Long answer questions. You have to write these answers in 100 to 150 words. Question 1. Success is failure turned inside out. Prove the above statement with instances from the journey taken by Richard a bride from losing at the science fair to winning at the international fair. Success is the fruit of failure. It never comes straight but through failure. This can be seen in the life of Richard Everett. Although he earned top grades in his school, on everyday things he was just like every other kid. He faced many failures in his life, but every failure strengthened his will to succeed. When he was in seventh grade, he participated in county science fair with his slides of frog tissues, but he could not win a prize. This made him determined to win the prize, and in his eighth grade, he again participated in the science fair with the experiment of viral disease in monarch caterpillars and won the prize. The very next year, he participated with his experiment of whether viceroy butterflies copy the monarch butterflies in order to save their life from the birds, and this project won a bright third prize in overall county science fair. His experiment regarding gold spots of monarch lyre, which he built a device that showed that the spots produced hormones necessary for the full development of butterflies, won third prize in International Science and Engineering Fair. Next year, he his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa won him first place at the International Science Fair. Thus, for Richard Albright, we can say that success is failure turned inside out, which book proved to be a turning point in a bride's life. One day, a bride's mother gave him a book. That book was The Travels of Monarch X. It described how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America. This book fascinated him. At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick of Toronto University, Canada. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Frederick. Albright started tagging monarch butterflies. The butterfly collecting season lasts only 6 weeks in late summer. He realized that chasing the butterflies one by one would not enable him to catch many. So he decided to raise a flock of butterflies. Question 3. What other interests besides science did Richard Albright pursue? Why did Albright respect and praise his social studies teacher so much? No doubt, first and foremost, Richard Albright was a scientist. He was interested in science. He first began to collect butterflies, but the scientist found time for other interests too. He was a man of many parts, a multifaceted genius. Not only did he collect butterflies, but also took a deep interest in other activities. He collected rocks, fossils, and coins. He became an eager astronomer. He would indulge in a stargazing sometimes all night. Everett also became a champion debater and public speaker. In this field, his social studies teacher turned Everett's tremendous energy towards the debating and model United Nations clubs. He was a good canoeist and all around outdoors person. He was also an expert photographer. He excelled in nature and scientific exhibits. In brief, besides being a remarkable scientist, Richard A. Bright enjoyed all pleasures, adventures, hobbies, and entertainments that a happy and civilized living provided to him. Dear children, you listen this lesson again and again. I think you have understood this lesson. Thank you.